Days of Our Lives is preparing us for some potentially terrible baby drama, while also rushing to the conclusion of Abe's fight, with one or two unexpected twists. This week made me feel pretty darn good thanks to some good character beats and some unexpected pairings. Daddy Mishap Bratty, I don't recommend Rachel if it's just for fun. However, Rachel deserves praise for making Brady's life miserable and reporting him to the police. Always having more fun than dumb Brady is dark Brady. Brady, I apologize, but you aren't always the brightest tool in the Salem shed. Threats and acts of violence from Kristen are much more welcome than his whining. Whatever you may think of Rachel, she saw her dad point a gun at her mother. That's terrifying and definitely traumatizing. She did well to know to dial 911 for assistance. I've heard a lot of folks complain about how badly Kristen has damaged Rachel, but as others have noted, Kristen has been absent for a significant portion of Rachel's life. Brady may not be the best father because he did the majority of the raising. I mean, he tried to gaslight Kristen in front of Jada after threatening her in front of his child. I don't own a firearm. When he arrived home, he placed it in that drawer. Your turn, Rachel. Talk the truth. Brady at least opted to admit his mistake after subsequently feeling horrible about it. While trying to get rid of Kristen, I for one hope he continues down the dark Brady route and sinks into the muck with her. But at this point, perhaps John and Marlena ought to assume custody, as long as Marlena and Satan's third attempt doesn't succeed. In relation to that, actually, I'm not against it when Days of Our Lives revealed that Whitley would bring back the Marteville narrative to torture us once more. My initial reaction was no, never again. Lord, deliver us. It's not a horrible twist though, as I realized after giving it some more attention. At least Whitley's completely absurd scheme to maintain a drugged-up Abe for all time does not depend solely on her being completely insane. The devil was loose for a while, and even though we could one day get past merely mentioning vague "this happened years ago" comments, it did happen, and there are now repercussions. It was wise of Satan to prepare for Whitley's absence by using Marteville to confuse him. And while I still don't like how dragged out this has been, I did notice Whitley's reasoning began to sound more pitiably irrational than infuriatingly absurd. While Lonnie's situation does not appear to be favorable, Sod foreshadows that she will be saved just in time, bringing the good men to Whitley's door, or the location Whitley is at that point. I anticipate that this will be finished by the next week, and after everything is over, I'm expecting that there will be a power struggle in Salem between a recovering Abe and his acting mayor deputy, who won't want to see the authority he's wrested. That will be a welcome departure from the recent psychos the Price Carvers have encountered and keep the plot of Abe and Paulina going forward. Never, baby. I'm sorry, but I cannot support Sloane's transformation into a baby maniac, and I find it difficult to support the notion that she is currently pregnant. However, I will concede that their dual pregnancies, possibly both with Eric's child, could make for a lovely, terrible disaster. If they were both carrying his child, which one would Eric pick? If obliged to raise siblings alongside Eric, how would they prevent killing one another? This might be enjoyable. However, I can also see a route out of this that would lead to Sloane returning to being more of a solo act once more. Because the show may pull a surprise and have Sloane lose her baby instead of Nicole. They've also created the terrifying potential that Sloane would go to great efforts to have a child with Eric in order to tether Eric to her. If Sloane miscarries the child, she can steal Nicole's and EJ's/Eric's and say that their child didn't survive. We keep hearing how dangerous this is and how frightened Nicole is about losing the child. On the one hand, it would make the ideal cover, but on the other, this is returning to Sydney/Grace territory, and unavoidably depressed Eric once more, unless Nicole's child turns out to be his, in which case he can keep the infant as a comfort child, and unavoidably depressed Eric once more, unless Nicole's child turns out to be his, in which case he can keep the infant as a comfort child. Pristine moments this week. I noticed a few character touches. This week, Nicole and EJ were endearing as they discussed the baby's sex, and made an effort to keep their words to themselves. After that came Johnny. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bulletin News, and stay with us.